Hello, and welcome back to another tutorial. Before I get into what I'm going to be dishing out to you today, I'm Mrs. Phyllis, and I am a music educator, violin teaching artist, and author. Today's tutorial is for viola and cello students who are beginners and learning the harmony part for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I want to talk to you about another way to learn music, and especially if you're still new at reading music. I have something for you, and I pray that this helps. So before we get into that, please like and subscribe. That way, when I have more tutorials, you will receive them immediately. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and share with you first just the background of what we're going to get into, and then I'm going to play for you the parts on the cello first and then the viola. So first, in this little packet, it's only 2 pages. Well, 4 pages because I write out the parts for the cello and viola. But the 2 pages here, I've included your vocabulary words. These are in bold. So please, if there are any new words for you or to you, please write them in your music journal. Okay, so let's get into it. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star harmony part. You will only use 5 notes for the harmony part, and they are A, B, C sharp, D, and E. The finger pattern is different for cello, and I have written the finger pattern out as well as the note pattern for each instrument. And I just want to say that, and this is something that I share with you all the time in our private lessons together. It is so important to first sing, like clap and sing the rhythm pattern of any music that you play. That will help you to play it beautifully. You can, if there is music you are working on that has words to it, practice with the words. And because we're doing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, everybody knows this song and it has words. So, how effective it can be to help you learn to read the rhythm of this piece because it has words. Words have rhythm. Okay? And so, I have outlined that below. We'll get into that in just a minute. So that, but I just wanted to like focus on that. Like to play any music effectively, you must begin by singing the rhythm, the rhythm pattern with words or with syllables. And if you know me, I like using the tas and the tts, right? So, but you can make up any words to go with that rhythm pattern, the words that will fit the rhythm pattern. It doesn't have to be ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. It can be something else. And so some of you who have learned the twinkle variations use different patterns to illustrate those rhythms, right? And to help you play them. For example, Indiana, stop, stop, right? I like teary, teary, tee, tee, right? And then there's different words or syllables you can use with each of those um, rhythm patterns that you find in your Twinkle, Twinkle Little Star. And so with the twinkle theme, just say the words. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, right? And then you can see what kind of notes, what kind of note pattern or rhythm pattern, I should say, not note pattern, but rhythms, right? Where when I talk about rhythm pattern, we're talking about the note values. And when you sing the twinkle, twinkle, little star, you can clearly see and hear what pattern goes with those words, right? ta, 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 half note. See? Okay, so let's move on. Um, and all of this, you can read this on your own. I'm going to send this to you, to those of you who work with me. You will receive this. But I just put in here, for those of you who maybe aren't understanding how words can go with your music rhythm pattern. This is just, you know, to help you understand by looking at it from the standpoint of when a child learns how to read words. It's the same thing. You know, a young child is learning how to break those words into syllables. Okay. Reading music is the same thing. Reading rhythm is the same thing. So, before you play this on your instrument, I want you to practice clapping the notes for your instrument and the rhythm pattern for that. Okay, and again, this is just some extra, challenge for you, to write out. I mean, to hear, because sometimes students will say, "Can you just write it out for me?" But I want you to begin to challenge yourself by listening in a different way. When you listen, like really, hear the music in a different way according to some of these questions I ask. This will help you to begin to read by ear, better. For those of you who love to have something in front of you, Um, and so I like to teach you how to read the music, of course, but I also like to teach you how to hear it without having that music in front of you. So these are some questions to ask as you're listening to the music you are learning. How do the pitches move? Are they going higher? Are they going lower, or do they stay the same? Can you hear which ones are the same? Like, are they repeated? Are there any sounds that stay the same? Or do they change? Like do, re, mi, those notes change, right? And the sounds are going up. Or do they stay the same? Do, do, do. Can you hear which notes are close together or far apart? Do, re are notes that are close together, but do, so are notes that are far apart. Can you hear how the part is organized? Or, the music as a whole, can you hear how it's organized? And in music, we call that form. Like what form does this music take? Okay, and that's something we can get into later. But these are just some questions that I give to you to begin listening, to ask yourselves as you listen in a different way. Ask yourself these questions and begin to hear the music in a different way. And so here we go. The cello part, I'm going to play the cello part first. But let's talk about what you see here. So the letters are the notes. So where you see the letters like A, C sharp, D, B, A, and so on and so forth. Those are the notes that are in the piece. Remember I said earlier that there are only 5 notes in Twinkle for your part that you're playing. This is the harmony part. A, B, C sharp, D, and E. And so I have written that out here. In parentheses, you have what string you are playing these notes on. So the beginning, as you can see, you start on open A. And then you go to C sharp, which is the 3rd finger on the A string for the cello. And then the next note is D, which is the 4th finger. Then you go back to the 3rd finger. And then you go to the 1st finger, which is B, and then you go to open A. So that's how you follow this roadmap. Okay. Underneath, I decided to write the words to show you how you should, practice clapping using the words, right? And you can practice something like this. A, C sharp, D, C sharp, B, A, E, A. Or you can use a finger pattern. Um, 0, 0, and zero means your open string. 0, 0, 3, 4, 3, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. And something I want to point out with the ones, notice how when I sang it, when I went to this one, it's higher than this one. Okay, so just another little hint on how to listen for those pitches. Because sometimes when students want something written down, they're focusing more on, that finger pattern than looking at the actual note. So if they see a 1, they may play an A1 when in fact it should be a D1. Okay, that's why I'm such a proponent on you all learning to listen to how something sounds. So when you see it written down, you can associate the sound to the sight, if that makes sense. Okay, and then on the next page, oops, sorry. Uh, on the next page, I included the viola part. Okay, so the only difference with the viola is that instead of for C sharp, you will use 2, right? The second finger on the A string. All right, so now I'm going to play the cello part first. Okay. All right, so again, we're starting on the A string. The only finger that you'll use on the D string is the first finger. So all those other notes, A, B, C sharp, and D, are on the A string. Okay, so I'm going to play the harmony part that goes with the theme, but you will also play the rhythm, the tiri tiri ti ti rhythm for this harmony part as well. But I'm going to play the harmony part for the twinkle tune, the melody. Okay, so this is the harmony part. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then the viola part. So starting on from open A, and again, the same thing like the cello. The only finger you're using on the D string is the first finger. Okay, here we go. And then we're going to play the same pattern um, with a different rhythm. And we will do that on the cello as well. So I hope this was helpful to you. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you later.